Picture yourself stepping into your garden on a crisp April morning. Fresh green shoots are emerging, flowers are beginning to wake, and another growing season is finally underway. Before filling your containers with the usual annual flowers, take a moment to consider something different. Why spend time and money replacing plants every year when you can grow beautiful perennials that return bigger, stronger, and even more spectacular season after season? The right perennial doesn't just survive, it improves with age, producing more blooms, attracting pollinators, and requiring less attention as it becomes established. In today's video, we'll introduce 8 outstanding perennial plants that thrive in containers and are perfect for planting in April. Whether you have a sunny patio, a cozy balcony, or a compact backyard, these dependable plants will reward you with years of color and beauty instead of lasting for only a single season. Let's begin with our first incredible choice. 1. Dianthus, small in size, big on beauty. Dianthus proves that a compact plant can easily become the star of an entire container display. Although it stays neat and relatively small throughout its life, it produces an abundance of colorful flowers that instantly brighten patios, balconies, and garden spaces. Its blossoms are easy to recognize thanks to their delicately fringed petals, whose finely cut edges give every flower a soft, lace-like appearance. Depending on the variety you choose, you'll find blooms in gentle pink, pure white, deep crimson, rich rose, and striking two-tone combinations that add elegance to any container arrangement. But Dianthus offers more than beautiful flowers. As sunshine warms the blooms during the day, they release a delicate fragrance with sweet, spicy notes that resemble cloves. The scent is never overpowering, yet it's strong enough to create a welcoming atmosphere around seating areas, patios, and balconies. Its naturally tidy growth habit makes it almost perfect for containers. Instead of becoming sprawling or untidy, the plant forms dense, rounded mounds that remain attractive throughout the growing season. It works beautifully as the centerpiece of a small pot, along the edges of larger containers, or tucked between taller perennials where it fills empty spaces with color and texture. Another reason gardeners appreciate Dianthus is its early performance. Planted in April, it establishes quickly and often begins blooming by late spring, providing welcome color while many other perennials are still producing foliage. And the show doesn't end there. Simply removing spent flowers encourages many varieties to bloom again later in the summer, giving you a second flush of vibrant blossoms. Containers are actually one of the best places to grow Dianthus because they provide the excellent drainage the plant loves. Give it a sunny location, moderately fertile soil, and regular but not excessive watering, and it will reward you with years of dependable performance. Despite its delicate appearance, Dianthus is surprisingly resilient. It tolerates cool spring temperatures, survives occasional light frosts, and rarely suffers from serious pest or disease problems. Once established, it asks for very little fertilizer or maintenance while continuing to bloom reliably year after year. Its flowers are also highly attractive to bees and butterflies, bringing welcome pollinators into your garden while adding even more life and movement to your containers. As each season passes, the plant becomes fuller, healthier, and covered with even more fragrant blooms. Beautiful, dependable, low maintenance, and perfectly suited for container gardening, Dianthus remains one of the finest perennial choices you can plant in April. 2. Gaillardia, months of brilliant summer color. If Dianthus brings elegance, Gaillardia delivers pure excitement. Better known as blanket flower, this cheerful perennial bursts into bloom with fiery shades of red, orange, yellow, and gold that instantly brighten any container. Many flowers combine several colors in a single bloom, creating beautiful patterns that almost appear hand-painted. Even from a distance, Gaillardia grabs attention, while a closer look reveals intricate details that make every flower unique. Its colorful appearance, however, is only part of what makes this perennial so impressive. Gaillardia thrives in conditions that cause many flowering plants to struggle. Intense sunshine, scorching summer temperatures, and dry weather barely slow it down, making it an outstanding choice for containers placed on sunny patios, balconies, terraces, or other exposed locations. Once established, it becomes remarkably drought-tolerant. Its efficient root system and tough foliage help conserve moisture, allowing the plant to continue flowering even when watering is occasionally delayed. As summer arrives, Gaillardia begins producing bloom after bloom, with fresh flowers continuously replacing older ones right through autumn. The result is an almost non-stop display of vibrant color that lasts for months. Deadheading faded blooms encourages even heavier flowering, but even gardeners who provide very little maintenance are rewarded with an impressive display. Unlike many flowering plants, Gaillardia doesn't demand rich soil, frequent fertilizing, or constant care. In fact, it often performs best when left to grow naturally. Its brightly colored flowers also become irresistible to pollinators. Bees and butterflies visit throughout the season, filling the garden with movement while helping support a healthier ecosystem. Gaillardia also combines beautifully with other container plants. Its upright stems pair wonderfully with ornamental grasses, silver-leaved foliage, and trailing plants that spill gracefully over the edges of pots, creating colorful arrangements with plenty of contrast and texture. As the years go by, mature plants become even more spectacular, producing increasing numbers of flowering stems every season. For gardeners looking for a perennial that loves heat, flowers continuously, attracts pollinators, and asks for very little in return, Gaillardia is one of the most rewarding plants you can grow. 3. Coneflower, a tough performer that gets better every year. Coneflower has earned its reputation as one of the most dependable perennials a gardener can own. It doesn't demand constant attention or perfect growing conditions, yet year after year, it rewards you with months of colorful blooms and exceptional durability. Its distinctive flowers are impossible to mistake. Broad petals surround a raised cone-shaped center, creating the classic appearance that has made coneflower a favorite in gardens around the world. Strong upright stems lift each bloom well above the foliage, adding both height and structure to container displays. Traditional varieties are famous for their soft purple and pink flowers, but today's gardeners can also choose from beautiful shades of white, yellow, orange, coral, red, and even unique green-toned selections. Its beauty is matched by remarkable toughness. Coneflower grows happily in average soil, tolerates poor conditions, withstands intense summer heat, and, once established, survives extended dry periods with very little trouble. These qualities make it especially well suited to containers placed in bright, sunny locations where watering isn't always perfectly consistent. Its flowering season is equally impressive. Blooms begin appearing in early summer and continue well into autumn, providing months of reliable color. Throughout that time, the flowers become a favorite destination for wildlife. Bees gather nectar from the raised cone centers. Butterflies visit throughout the day. And later in the season, birds enjoy feeding on the mature seed heads. Instead of serving only as an ornamental flower, coneflower helps create a lively miniature ecosystem right on your patio, balcony, or terrace. Maintenance couldn't be much easier. The plant rarely suffers from serious pests or diseases, requires only modest fertilizing, and continues performing beautifully with very little attention. As each year passes, the clump grows larger and stronger, producing more flowering stems and creating an increasingly spectacular display. With its outstanding resilience, beautiful flowers, exceptional value for pollinators, and dependable long-term performance, coneflower remains one of the smartest perennial investments you can make for container gardening. 4. Black-eyed Susan, bright golden blooms that light up every container. If you want containers overflowing with cheerful color from summer well into the fall, you need a plant that can handle the heat and the cold. Black-eyed Susan is a perennial that can handle both. It's a great choice for container gardening because it's easy to care for and it's a great way to add color to your garden. With cheerful color from summer well into autumn, Black-eyed Susan is a perennial that's hard to beat. Few flowers make such an instant impact. Its glowing golden petals surrounding a rich chocolate-brown center create a bold contrast that immediately catches the eye and fills any planter with warmth and energy. There's something unmistakably summery about this plant. The moment the first flowers open, patios, balconies, and garden corners seem brighter and more inviting. Even a single Black-eyed Susan can transform an ordinary container into a vibrant focal point. One of the biggest reasons gardeners return to this perennial year after year is its exceptionally long flowering season. Blooms begin appearing in early to midsummer and continue for months, with fresh flowers constantly replacing older ones. Instead of putting on a short display before fading away, the plant provides reliable color almost until the first frosts of autumn. Black-eyed Susan is also wonderfully easy to grow. It flourishes in full sunshine, tolerates intense summer heat, and handles dry conditions surprisingly well once established. Because it isn't fussy about soil, it performs beautifully in containers, especially those placed in bright locations where many other flowering plants struggle. Its beauty comes with practical benefits too. The nectar-rich flowers quickly become a favorite destination for bees, butterflies, and countless other pollinators. Throughout the season, they fill your outdoor space with movement and life, helping create a healthier garden ecosystem. Even after the bright petals begin to disappear, the plant continues adding interest. Its dark seed heads remain attractive long into autumn, bringing texture and architectural beauty to container displays. As an added bonus, many birds visit later in the season to feed on the seeds. Black-eyed Susan is also incredibly versatile in container arrangements. It works beautifully as the centerpiece of a large planter, provides height at the back of mixed containers, or combines perfectly with trailing plants and softer foliage to create layers of texture and color. Maintenance couldn't be easier. Once established, it asks for very little attention. There's no need for frequent pruning, heavy fertilizing, or complicated care routines. Year after year, it returns stronger, producing dependable blooms with minimal effort. Bright, resilient, pollinator-friendly, and wonderfully easy to grow, Black-eyed Susan earns its place in almost every perennial container garden. 5. Lavender. Timeless beauty wrapped in fragrance. Very few plants create a sense of peace and elegance as effortlessly as lavender. From the moment it's planted, it brings classic Mediterranean charm to patios, balconies, and garden spaces. Soft silver-green foliage forms neat, rounded mounds, while graceful stems topped with violet-purple flowers sway gently above the leaves, adding movement and sophistication to every container. Its appearance never goes out of style. Whether placed beside your front door, arranged across a sunny patio, or lining a balcony railing, lavender instantly creates a calm, relaxing atmosphere that invites you to slow down and enjoy the garden. April is one of the very best times to plant it. Cool spring weather and gradually warming soil allow young plants to establish strong root systems before summer heat arrives. By the time temperatures climb, lavender is already well-rooted and prepared for vigorous growth. Growing lavender in containers offers one important advantage. This perennial dislikes wet soil and performs best when excess water drains away quickly. Heavy garden soils often stay too damp, but containers make it easy to create the free-draining conditions lavender naturally loves. Give it plenty of sunshine and well-drained soil, and it quickly becomes one of the easiest perennials you'll ever grow. Unlike many flowering plants, lavender asks for very little. Moderate watering is usually enough. Serious pest problems are uncommon, and excessive fertilizer often does more harm than good. In many cases, the healthiest plants are simply those left to grow naturally with only minimal care. As each season passes, lavender becomes even more attractive. Mature plants develop fuller foliage, produce increasing numbers of flowering stems, and naturally form beautiful, rounded shapes. A light trim after flowering keeps the plant tidy and often encourages another flush of blooms later in the season. Its unforgettable fragrance is perhaps its greatest gift. Simply brushing your hand across the leaves releases calming aromatic oils into the air. During warm summer afternoons, that soothing scent drifts across patios and gardens, creating an atmosphere that's both peaceful and refreshing. Pollinators love lavender just as much as gardeners do. Bees spend hours moving from flower spike to flower spike, while butterflies frequently stop to feed on the nectar, filling the garden with constant activity. Even outside the flowering season, lavender continues to earn its place. In many climates, its evergreen foliage provides attractive structure throughout much of the year, ensuring containers never feel empty. Its versatility is another reason for its lasting popularity. Lavender looks stunning on its own, pairs beautifully with herbs like rosemary, thyme, and sage, and fits perfectly into modern container designs where foliage and texture are every bit as important as flowers. Elegant, fragrant, resilient, and effortlessly beautiful, lavender is much more than another flowering perennial. It's a plant that transforms any outdoor space into somewhere you'll want to spend time. 6. Heuchera. Spectacular foliage that shines all season. While lavender is loved for its fragrance, heuchera earns its reputation through something completely different: its breathtaking foliage. This remarkable perennial brings bold color, rich texture, and year-round interest to containers, often remaining just as attractive without flowers as many plants are when they're in full bloom. Every variety offers something unique. Some display deep burgundy leaves so dark they appear almost black. Others brighten shaded spaces with glowing lime green foliage, while many feature silver highlights, warm bronze tones, caramel colors, rich purple shades, or beautifully patterned veins that create extraordinary depth and texture. Because its foliage remains colorful throughout the growing season, heuchera continues making containers look fresh long after many flowering plants have finished blooming. Even when no flowers are present, it provides beautiful structure, contrast, and visual interest that elevates every planting combination. April is an excellent time to plant heuchera. Cool spring temperatures encourage strong root development, allowing the plant to become well-established before summer arrives. Over time, it naturally forms neat, rounded clumps that remain compact without becoming oversized, making it suitable for containers of almost every shape and size. One of its greatest strengths is its ability to thrive where many other perennials struggle. Heuchera performs exceptionally well in partial shade and even full shade, making it an ideal choice for porches, balconies, woodland gardens, and sheltered patios that receive limited sunlight. Many varieties also tolerate gentle morning sunshine, making this perennial remarkably adaptable across a wide range of growing conditions. Cool nights and occasional spring frosts rarely bother it, allowing heuchera to remain dependable even during unpredictable weather. When flowering begins, slender stems rise gracefully above the colorful foliage, carrying delicate sprays of tiny, bell-shaped blossoms that appear to float effortlessly over the leaves. These elegant flowers create a beautiful contrast while providing another valuable benefit. Bees eagerly visit the blooms, and in many regions, hummingbirds are equally attracted, especially when nectar sources are limited. Heuchera combines beautifully with almost any container planting. It provides an excellent base beneath taller perennials, fills empty spaces with rich foliage, or becomes the star of containers designed around colorful leaves instead of flowers. It pairs especially well with hostas, ornamental grasses, ferns, and other shade-loving plants, helping unify every arrangement with its rich colors and refined texture. Maintenance is wonderfully simple. Aside from removing the occasional old or damaged leaf, heuchera requires very little attention. It doesn't need constant pruning or heavy fertilizing, and each year it gradually develops into an even fuller, healthier clump. Perhaps its greatest quality is how effortlessly it enhances everything growing around it. Rather than competing for attention, heuchera quietly brings balance, softens transitions between neighboring plants, and gives containers the polished appearance of a professionally designed garden. 7. Salvia, a long-blooming perennial that pollinators can't resist. If your dream is to fill your containers with vibrant flowers while attracting bees, butterflies, and other beneficial wildlife, salvia deserves a place at the very top of your planting list. This remarkable perennial offers much more than beautiful blooms. It fills your garden with color, energy, and constant activity from late spring until the arrival of autumn. The transformation begins as soon as the first flower spikes start to open. Within days, bees are busily collecting nectar. Butterflies drift gracefully from bloom to bloom, and, in warmer regions, hummingbirds may even appear, hovering effortlessly among the flowers. What was once a quiet patio or balcony suddenly becomes a lively haven for pollinators. The plant itself is every bit as impressive. Elegant flower spikes rise above dense clumps of fresh green foliage, adding height, texture, and strong vertical lines to container displays. Depending on the variety you choose, the blossoms may appear in deep purple, brilliant blue, vivid red, soft pink, or rich violet, making it easy to create colorful combinations that suit any style of garden. April is the ideal time to get salvia established. The cool, mild temperatures of spring allow the roots to develop before the heat of summer arrives, giving the plant a strong foundation for months of healthy growth and non-stop flowering. One of the reasons gardeners admire salvia so much is its incredible flowering season. Once blooming begins, it rarely slows down until the first autumn frosts. As older flower spikes fade, new stems quickly emerge to replace them, ensuring your containers remain full of fresh color for months on end. Regular deadheading makes the display even more spectacular. Removing faded flower spikes encourages the plant to branch more vigorously, producing even greater numbers of blooms. Instead of weakening after pruning, salvia responds with renewed growth, gradually developing into a large, bushy plant covered with colorful flowers. Its toughness is equally impressive. Salvia thrives in full sunshine, easily tolerates scorching summer temperatures, and handles dry conditions far better than many other flowering perennials. It doesn't require rich soil, heavy feeding, or constant maintenance, making it one of the easiest long-blooming plants to grow in containers. Even during the hottest weeks of summer, when many flowers begin to fade, salvia continues producing fresh blooms with remarkable reliability. Its upright growth habit also makes it a valuable design element. It adds height, creates natural focal points, contrasts beautifully with trailing plants, and brings balance to mixed container arrangements without overwhelming neighboring plants. Perhaps the greatest reward, however, isn't the flowers themselves. It's watching your containers come alive as bees, butterflies, and other pollinators constantly move from bloom to bloom throughout the day. Reliable, colorful, easy to grow, and incredibly valuable for wildlife, salvia is a perennial that rewards gardeners from the first days of summer until autumn finally draws to a close. 8. Hosta, luxurious foliage for beautiful, shaded containers. While salvia brings excitement and non-stop blooms, hosta creates a completely different mood. It fills containers with calm, lush greenery and timeless elegance, making it one of the finest perennial choices for shaded patios, balconies, and garden spaces. Very few plants can transform a quiet corner as dramatically as a mature hosta. Its broad, layered leaves instantly make containers appear fuller, richer, and more established. Even a single specimen creates the feeling of a mature garden, filled with texture and depth. One of hosta's greatest attractions is the incredible variety of foliage. Some cultivars feature deep emerald green leaves that capture the classic beauty of woodland gardens. Others display cool blue-green foliage with a silvery finish, while variegated varieties combine shades of green with creamy white, golden yellow, or pale ivory margins that brighten even the darkest corners. Each variety has its own unique personality, allowing gardeners to create everything from peaceful monochromatic displays to bold combinations filled with striking color and texture. April provides nearly perfect planting conditions. Cool spring weather encourages vigorous root growth before summer temperatures arrive. By the time warmer weather settles in, hostas are already well established and ready to produce their magnificent foliage. Shade is where this perennial truly shines. Partial shade and full shade provide ideal growing conditions, making hosta an outstanding choice for porches, balconies, courtyards, woodland gardens, and any outdoor space where direct sunlight is limited. Growing hostas in containers also makes watering much easier to manage. They prefer evenly moist but well-drained soil, and pots allow gardeners to maintain those conditions far more consistently than many traditional garden beds. As the years pass, the plants steadily increase in size, forming dense clumps of luxurious foliage that become even more impressive with age. Large mature specimens develop an almost sculptural quality, bringing structure, elegance, and sophistication to every container arrangement. Another wonderful advantage is how easily mature plants can be divided. Once a clump becomes large enough, it can be separated into several new plants, allowing you to expand your collection or fill additional containers without buying more perennials. Hostas also combine beautifully with other shade-loving plants. They pair naturally with ferns for lush, woodland-style displays, create striking foliage contrasts alongside colorful heucheras, and blend effortlessly with almost every perennial that prefers cooler, shaded conditions. Although the foliage remains the star attraction, the flowers add another layer of beauty. During summer, graceful stems rise above the leaves, carrying elegant lavender or white blossoms that sway gently in the breeze while attracting bees and other beneficial pollinators. Perhaps hosta's greatest gift is the peaceful atmosphere it creates. It softens hard edges, fills empty spaces with rich greenery, and quietly enhances every container without ever demanding attention. For gardeners looking to create shaded containers filled with luxurious foliage, dependable performance, and timeless beauty, hosta remains one of the very best perennial investments they can make.